So we did a different flight going to Sao Paulo this time. So we went from Montreal to Bogota to Guarulhos, so Sao Paulo Airport. And we took the connection because it was actually a cheaper flight, but it wasn't worth it in the end. So if ever you're looking to save maybe $100 or something, don't do it. Do stick with direct flights from Air Canada, if at all possible. Just maybe plan in advance and make sure that you get a better flight because the Avianca flight's a little bit crammed. And the first thing so tip number one, when you're arriving, maybe not the most important, but Ellie keeps turning on her phone and forgetting. She keeps putting on the airplane mode off. So one of the things I'm gonna have to do here is take off her chip, because she does it and it slaps me a $15 roaming fee with my carrier. If ever you're looking for the right tools, a pencil usually does the trick. Boop, right there. And I'm gonna take that out before I get another $15 charge right here. On the new iPhones though, the 17, they've removed the SIMs, so it's a wireless connection. So I just need to make sure that I don't forget to turn on my airplane mode. And now that's it. So now she has no way to make any mistakes. Another tip when you're in Colombia, connection Bogota or anywhere else, do explore the special coffee market. They have special coffee that they call it gourmet, but you have to be careful because sometimes they call it gourmet and it's not really special coffee. So special coffee, basically you're looking for something that's organic. They have different types. So this one here that I just bought is called honey, and you're getting a bit more flavor of the coffee itself. And so in this case of honey, I think if I'm not mistaken, they dry the coffee beans inside the shell of the fruit. And so that gets a lot more sugar and flavor into the coffee itself. And so you're drinking a black coffee and you're getting the flavor instead of just going to, like I just saw, Dunkin' Donuts. So it just doesn't make any sense. Like if I'm coming to Colombia, I'm not going to go for Dunkin' Donuts. But I think that a lot of people do because it's kind of like a comfort thing for them. But do take a risk or take a shot in the dark and try to get a special coffee from here. Actually, while I'm here, we're going to go over some of the topics that I wanted to talk into in the next video. And some of those are basically a list that we made. And we also consulted with our friend Andrea, who gave us also some little bit of help. Oh, look who's back. What's that? What is it?
Pão de bueno. Pão de bono.
Pão de bon? Your phone is safe now. You can turn it on as much as you want. So what is this?
I don't know. I would like to try.
No?
How about you?
No. Ellie's here with us. Tastes good. About the main questions that people have about traveling to Colombia for our vlog. So number one was, is Colombia safe to travel to? I mean, in general, it's safe, right? But it is South America, so you do need to take care, especially if you have like camera equipment, if you have like phones, the newest phones, that kind of stuff. Try not to flash. I was there's a nice neighborhood in Bogota called Candelaria, and I was going around with my camera, and one thing I didn't realize is I got really in the zone and I started taking some pictures, and Ellie spotted from far there was a guy who was following me and he was taking pictures of me
he was taking pictures of you, and he kind of wait in our street. There was not a lot of people there.
Yeah.
It was me and you.
Yeah, so we were just kind of like venturing by ourselves. And this guy, he approached me at some point, and then Ellie got a little bit closer just to kind of say, hey, like he's with someone else. And he scared me. I said, whoa, like he was like right around me, right? And then he was asking me questions, and it was kind of a weird story because he said he was taking photography in school. And so I tried asking some questions, but he didn't really elaborate too much. And he just said, I said, oh, so you have access to the cameras when you go to school? He says, yeah. But I found it weird that he didn't have a camera with him. He just had his phone. And then he was asking me, oh, can you give me some tips and advice on the pictures that I'm taking? So, and then that was pretty much it. Otherwise, I mean, we felt safe. It's just also like taking out money. There's some like really weird places. Just be sure to go inside somewhere, like go inside a bank. We found this like supermarket that had a ATM inside, and a bunch of people were lined up. So that's probably the best bet, the safest bet. And it's actually one of the other topics here about taking the money. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, you're going to hear some stories about, things that happen here. But in general, it also goes with the feeling, and I felt safe the entire trip.
Yeah, people from Medellin told you that Bogota is really
can be difficult.
Especially the guide that we did the tour for us. She said that she was in a bar, someone came with a knife or something like that. But in general, you walked everywhere in La Candelaria. Zona T is really nice. Usaquén was really nice. I mean, the touristic places are safe. Also, we went to that market. We walked a lot around the streets.
Perseverencia? Yeah.
So it was.
But that's the thing, like really it's daytime. We didn't really stay out much late. And one of the reasons for that is actually our hotel was a little bit outside because I had some points left over from Marriott. So we stayed near the embassy, the US embassy. So we didn't want to, if we stayed, actually we booked Zone T, but then we canceled the hotel there because we didn't want to have to like kind of back and forth. But yeah, so anyway, on the safe side, and then do you need a visa? Maybe one of the questions, or what are the requirements when you do come in? So right now we're actually doing a connection. So we did the international connection, and there is a security checkpoint. You have to make sure that you don't have like water, liquids, and that kind of stuff. But if you're coming into Colombia, then you're going to have to go through immigration. And going through immigration, I'm actually going to show a picture that I took of the immigration itself. And you have like the different lines. And there's an American that was sitting with us in the airplane, and he said, oh, you guys are lucky Canadians because you have the fast track, you have the fast lane. And I said, how come? He says, oh, you just go in the diplomatic line. And then he had to go through a different line, which is like, serpentine and lots of weight. So we had to double check because sometimes, someone says something and then you're doing it and then you're the one who's going to be wrong. So we asked the person, are we allowed to go there? Like, we're Canadian. We showed the passport and they said, yeah, you can go. And it felt weird because we went in the crew and diplomatic line. And we were the only ones there, so it just felt really weird.
Yeah.
But then the catch with that is that when you get to the counter, they slap you with, if you're Canadian, you're going to have to pay a fee. And it was 187,000 COP. So that's actually another topic here for the money. Don't worry, because COP is, so it's like 3,000 more, so times whatever the value. So for example, this coffee here cost me 68,000 COP. So a quick calculation, you divide it by 3,000. 3,000? Maybe not 3,000. You divide it by 3 and then you remove the 0. So yeah, 3,000, right? Let me see. 68,000 divided by 3,000. So it's a rough estimate. It's not exact. If you have internet, then you can just go ahead and plug that in. COP to Canadian dollars. Oh yeah, so visa. So there's no visa necessary. You just need to pay that fee. So that's your entry fee. So it ends up being like roughly $100 and for Canadians. But Ellie's has the Brazilian citizenship. Yeah. So when she went, it was kind of weird because the woman was like kind of hinting and asking you, do you have another passport? And I've heard of like, you have to be careful if you have 2 passports because you can't just like flash them. Apparently, like immigration and federal police, they don't really like that.
Yeah, but she was really cool.
Yeah, she was
said,
cool.
No, if you have the Brazilian passport, give me.
Yeah.
In Spanish,
Yeah.
right? We were speaking Spanish.
So-
Give me. I said, okay.
I got the fee. I got to go through the fast lane, and then we actually met up with the American on the other side, and it was pretty cool because our hotel was kind of like midway. They had a shuttle basically from the airport, so we just basically hopped on the shuttle, and we didn't have to pay any extra, Uber fees and that kind of stuff. So no visa, just need to pay that special fee. I think they call it a reciprocity fee. When's the best time to go? Actually, right now I think this morning they said it was 11 degrees. Bogota has a raining season and it has a non-raining season. So it's like pretty much the same temperature year round, right? So if you're coming here, you're looking at maybe a max of 20 degrees. Generally, you'll see people kind of leave, like what they were telling us actually at some point was they'll leave the house with a bunch of layers and jackets and stuff because it can just start raining at any point throughout the day. So just be prepared to, and we actually met some girls at the free walking tour that we did. And in the free walking tour, they said, be careful, make sure to bring jackets and rain gear and that kind of stuff. I thought they would have had it figured out by then, but they didn't. And it rained that day and they just got rained on. So I have my Colombia rain jacket that's super thin, and you can just like crumple it up and it gets into like a small pillow. I can actually I don't know if we can add it on our Amazon gear. Yeah.
So let me take my phone de boom.
So the best time to go, basically, I'm not exactly sure when is the raining season. I think it's maybe their winter. But it's not like it's just basically 20 degrees year round. So there's no like summer, cold, whatever. However, if you we went to a place called Medellin, it's actually in the mountains. There you're gonna have like more sun. It's gonna be like 25 degrees, but then also same thing there, rain can just kind of like pop out of nowhere. So just be careful for that. So best time to go, for us would be wintertime because if you're going during the winter time, at least you're escaping the minus 20, minus 30 degrees from Canada, potentially more depending on where you live. How do you get around? Airports. Uber is kind of like at this stage and at the stage that we visited, which was March of 2025, it's like kind of in a gray zone. So kind of what it was in Canada and Montreal a few years back before it got legalized. So you can still order it. I forget if you can get it from the airport, but we always use the shuttles. So that part I'm not exactly sure, but otherwise Uber works. And I would actually recommend it more because at least it's like regulated, right? And I think there's another application.
Andrea told us to use Uber too.
Yeah. So getting around and then walking around once you're in Bogota. Bogota is nice. A lot of people skipped it, but it's actually a really nice city to visit. Candelaria has some really nice architecture. And then coffee, we went through like 3 or 4 different coffee shops, which we're going to be showing in this series as well.
Yeah.
What about health vaccines, drinking water? I think water, we always got water bottles.
Yeah, there is no tap water here, as I understood.
Vaccines, I think it was more for if you were Brazilian coming in from Brazil, you needed the yellow fever shot. But now I think they took that out, so you don't need that anymore. But just in case, if you want to contact maybe like a travel clinic and just ask them, hey, do I need any vaccines? Because they do have the Amazon, so you may need, depending on the region you're planning on visiting, you may need to go there and get some different shots. Where should I stay and where is it safe for certain neighborhoods? Candelaria is a nice neighborhood, but I don't know. Proximity, but then be careful because like maybe going out at night is a little bit kind of tricky.
Yeah, if you are, I think in the middle of the Candelaria, where are the bars, restaurants, may be safer, but it's also really loud because people stay there overnight and this kind of thing, I think Zone T was really nice. I would stay in Zone T for sure because it's in the middle of it, really short ride to go to Candelaria and short to go Usaquén, and it's really cool.
Yeah, so you have like basically the cities here, and then you have the edge, and then you have the mountains. And so at that edge, you have the Candelaria, and then as you keep going down, You have this Sechisma street that's really cool because there's a bunch of shops, a bunch of vendors on the street, and then it's a really like nice avenue. It's like a big street that's just like pedestrian. And after that, you get to like different neighborhoods like Zone T, Usaken, and so you can walk up and down that, or you can take an Uber as well. But we ended up walking actually one day we went to a market called Perseverancia. And from there, we just ended up doing kind of like a Pac-Man diet. So we ended up like eating our way, a little bit like what we're doing right now, to Candelaria. So, I mean, where should you stay? Zone T is a really nice, cool spot, really hip, really modern. A lot of shopping. They have the Andino, I think it's called, Andino shopping there. Super expensive, really like top brands and that kind of stuff.
It's not that if you don't want to shop, it's okay. But the nice thing, there is bars, restaurants.
Yeah. They have a beer place called BBC, so Bogota Brewing Company. And they also have another one called Bruder that we went to in Zone T, which was really good. It was actually St. Patrick's when we went, so they had like a bunch of different beers, the green beer and that kind of stuff. So yeah, Zone T is pretty cool. And then you can also check like just around that area. And Ellie's gonna do a blog. I think you've already done a blog, and then kind of showing.
I did a blog what and where to eat in Colombia, Bogota specifically, because I will do one for Medellin. And I did also some tours that we took in the city that was pretty cool, the Candelaria one, that was pretty cool.
So here the next point I have is what to pack. One of the main points is layers, just making sure that, because I think even in Bogota, it got like really warm at some point, right? So you're just like, as long as you have a t-shirt underneath, so you just take off your sweater, but then make sure you have those layers. And if you have the backpack, you can always hook it onto, for example, here I have like a little strap at the top, and I just kind of put my jacket through there. So these are just kind of some tips, especially for the weather, because you just don't want to be uncomfortable and having like too much or not enough and being cold. Spanish basics, I mean, speaking a little bit, like when I ordered the coffee, I think Ellie has a bit more practice with Spanish than I do, but I did take a couple of courses in high school, and it's kind of easy to just kind of tap into, saying hello, thank you, buenos dias.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Which is gracias. Yeah. So, there's so many platforms nowadays like Duolingo. You can even learn with ChatGPT.
There is the one that we like, the Babel.
Babel.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, I think that goes a long way, and they recognize that you're trying to. Some people don't speak any English or any other languages, but some do. You may be lucky.
Yeah, especially in Candelaria, we saw a lot of people speak actually English.
Yeah.
In our hotel, it was surprising because it was international hotel. They didn't speak that much. Do you remember? We had the problems in the reception. Well, in the airport they speak Spanish and English, so that's good.
Okay, we're going to continue despite the announcement that's going on. Any must-see destinations or tours? I think if you're in Bogota, the really cool thing is the salt cathedral and the salt mines to visit. It's a bit of a day trip, so you can take an Uber, or you can get like a driver to bring you there, or you can get your guide and you just book your trip. So it's a day trip. So it'll pick you up from wherever you are in the city. It'll drive you to the salt mine. There's actually another stop near like a nearby city, and there's a lunch that they stop over as well. So you have all of that included. So that's pretty cool to consider. Just any cultural, like anything cultural. So here the coffee is like pretty big. They're a little bit more advanced than Brazil. So the honey coffee that I just showed you here is just one of the specialties. They also have geisha. They have like just different types. And you can even do coffee tastings. They have different methods that they prepare as well. So one of the really good coffee places that we liked was called Matuka, because they have different types of coffees and different methods. And so it's almost like they meet with you and they ask you, okay, so what do you want to taste? What do you want to try? And it's really interactive. So that's...
And the Matuka, they have in Get Your Guide, a tour guide for that. That's pretty cool, because you can actually taste different coffees. They explain about the specialty coffees. It is really good.
Also, I think we mentioned that in our introduction video, but there's so much diversity in Colombia because you have the mountains, so you have the Amazon. There's Medellin, which is a really nice kind of like city within the mountains. You also have San Andres, which is a beach destination. And funny enough, like as we were traveling in the country, we met other people that they didn't even bother with Bogota, or if they went there, they went for like one day or just one overnight. It's like surprisingly, it was a really nice destination for us. A lot of people went to Cartagena, which is I think beach destination right at the very top. So yeah, I mean, there's so much.
Some of them really like it, and some of them didn't like it at all because they thought that was like a touristic.
Yeah. And our guide was actually telling us that from the Salt Cathedral. He said to be careful when you go to like the north in Cartagena because they're a little bit more aggressive. Whereas in Bogota, they're like a little bit calm and less aggressive, I guess, in terms of sales and pushing. So yeah. And then is it safe to use ATMs, carry cash, use cards? I mean, in general, I just use the tapas to buy the coffees. So credit card, tap.
I use a lot of credit cards too. Usually we use an Uber, right? We didn't pay like, I think everyone maybe like user can actually, they prefer cash, do you remember?
Yeah, some places, I mean, they don't all have the machine, and obviously there's fees that come with the machine. So what I'd recommend is just have a little bit of cash on hand. That way you can pay for like the small stuff. So yeah, Colombia, just a great destination. Like I said, a lot of diversity. And once you're in South America, then you can also, like we met a lot of people that are doing backpacks and going to different countries. Chile is super nice. Peru is also really nice if you want to do Machu Picchu. And then you have Brazil. And then I was looking into Ecuador. So there's so many countries here that are worth visiting. So hopefully these tips really helped you out. So stay tuned. Let us know if you have any questions. If you like this video and these tips, then go ahead and give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And we'll see you soon. Ciao, Discoverers.